The final stage of the journey still had to be attempted. We made a start as soon as we had eaten our meals. Magnish walked about 200 yards with us. He could do no more. Then we said goodbye. He was to be picked as soon as possible after we had reached the Stromness whaling station. We roped ourselves together as a precaution against holes, crevices and precipices, and I broke trail through the soft snow. With almost the full length of the rope between me and the last man, we were able to steer an approximately straight course, since if I veered to the right or to the left when marching into the blank wall of the fog, the last man on the rope could shout a direction. So like a ship with its port, starboard, steady, we tramped through the fog for the next 2 hours. We were now up 4,500 feet, and the night temperature at that elevation would be very low. We had no tent and no sleeping bags, and our clothes had endured much rough usage and had weathered many storms during the last 10 months. Midnight found us approaching the edge of a great snowfield with a gentle slope to the northeast. We thought that at the base of the slope lay Stromness Bay. Our high hopes were soon shattered. Crevices warned us that we were on another glacier, and soon we looked down almost to the seaward edge of the great riven ice mass. The disappointment was severe. Back we turned and trampled up the glacier again, tracing our steps. We were very, very tired. We decided to get down under the lee of a rock for a rest. Within a minute my two companions were fast asleep. I realized that it would be disastrous if we all slumbered together, for sleep under such conditions merges into death. After 5 minutes I shook them into consciousness again and told them that they had slept for half an hour, and gave the word for a fresh start. We were so stiff that the first 200 or 300 yards we marched with our knees bent. At 6:30 a.m. we thought we heard the sound of a steam whistle. Never had any of us heard sweeter music. It was the first sound created by outside human agency that had come to our ears since we left Stromness Bay in December 1914. The whistle told us that men were living near, that ships were ready, and that within a few hours we should be on our way back to Elephant Island to the rescue of the men waiting there. It was a moment hard to describe. Pain and ache, boat journeys, marches, hunger and fatigue seemed to belong to the limbo of forgotten things, and there remained only the perfect contentment that comes of work accomplished. The last lap of the journey proved extraordinarily difficult. Vainly we searched for a safe or a reasonably safe way down the steep ice-clad mountainside. The sole possible pathway seemed to be a channel cut by water running from the upland. Down through ice and water we followed the course of this stream. We were wet to the waist, shivering, cold and tired. Presently our ears detected an unwelcome sound. It was the splashing of a waterfall, and we were at the wrong end. When we reached the top of this fall, we peered over cautiously and discovered that there was a drop of 25 or 30 feet, with impassable ice cliffs on both sides. To go up again was scarcely thinkable in our utterly wearied condition. The way down was through the waterfall itself. We made fast one end of our rope with some difficulty, due to the fact that the rocks had been worn smooth by running water. Then Woosley and I lowered Crean, who was the heaviest man. He disappeared altogether in the falling water and came out gasping at the bottom. I went next, sliding down the rope, and Worsley, who was the lightest and most nimble member of the party, came last. At the bottom of the fall we were able to stand again on dry land. A few moments later, as we hurried forward, the mass of a sailing ship lying at a wharf came in sight. Then we saw the sheds and factories of Stromness whaling station. Our beards were long and our hair was matted. We were unwashed, and the garments we had worn for nearly a year without a change were tattered and stained. Close to the station we met two small boys, 10 or 12 years of age. They ran from us as fast as their legs would carry them. At the outskirts of the station we met an old man, who started as if he had seen the devil himself. He also hurried away. "5 minutes later, Mr. Sorrell, the manager of the whaling station, came out to meet us and said, 'Well?' "'Don't you know me?' I said. "'I think I know your voice,' he replied doubtfully. "'My name is Shackleton,'